Jaron Boots Ennis and Eimantas Stanionis will be fighting on April 12th. And that's a unification bout in the welterweight division. I don't think that fight has been getting enough attention. Maybe because, it's still a bit of time before it happens, but it's getting closer. We're talking about a few weeks from now. I think this is going to be Jaron Boots Ennis' toughest contest. And it's also going to be the first time that he gets to fight a reigning champion. The same with Stanionis. He's going to be fighting a champion for the first time. William P., what's the deal, my G? Bam. Yo, we trying to show some love, man, to Jaron Boots Ennis and Eimantas Stanionis. Nobody's really talking about this fight, and it's already a few weeks away. You think Boots wins, I'm assuming. Now, I will say we cannot underestimate Stanionis. The guy can fight. He's a very good fighter. And the one thing that, and I've been telling people this, at this point, Boots is an email champion. Like, he did not beat, a reigning champion to get there. And the same thing with Stanionis. Stanionis fought for a vacant title. Because we have to remember, Terrence Bud Crawford, he vacated all of his straps when he moved up to 154. Or maybe some of them got stripped. But the bottom line is that those two champions didn't actually beat a champion to get those belts. So this is the first time for both of them that they'll be stepping in the ring versus a reigning champion. Chris Fontaine, what's the deal, my G? Bam. So I wanted to talk about that fight because I feel like it's just not getting enough attention. It's already gonna happen a few weeks away. R30 and still my guy on the rise. What's the deal, R30? Salute. You already know, man. 1,000 subscribers. That's just one little step. We going up. We can't be stopped. So it's the inevitable. Boxing is gonna be number one. Give it time. Just give it a time, and it's just the inevitable. Bound to happen. But my peoples, what do you think, man? Jaron Boots Ennis, Eimantas Stanionis. That's going down, and I believe it is going to be Boots' most competitive fight up to date. Is on April 12th, so it's very soon. At this point, I'm super, honestly, man, I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. Jaron Boots Ennis, he always puts on a show. Every time we watch him, it's fun, to see him do his thing, the way that he moves, the way that he let his combinations go. Jaron Boots Ennis is a legitimate future superstar. So having his toughest opponent in his next fight, we got to see how that's going to play out. I know that Boots wanted to fight Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman was talking about him the other day, but Keith Thurman, man, when he talk about certain fighters, he be bringing up ducking language, man. Oh, if the money's right, if the offer's right. Like, why you bringing up money? I understand you got to make your money, but why you don't say straight up, I want to fight him? You see, that's the difference. That's what I find to be ducking language. When you say, I want to fight this guy, you want to fight this guy. But when you say, well, if the money's right, we can make it happen, you're already putting conditions into it. You're already saying, I don't really want to fight him, but if they pay me a lot of money, I will do it. I don't like that. Show me your interest in fighting Boots. He don't look interested. R30 Boots, a competitive fight, but a win all the same. I see Boots winning it. I see him winning that fight. But I will say Eimantas Stanionis has the tools and resources to pull off an upset. That's what an upset is all about. We all see a guy winning, we all feel confident, and boom, it doesn't play out the way we expected. Zaki, Boots ducked Virgil at 154. Nah, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. And the reason I say that is because Boots himself is not fighting at 154. So how can you duck somebody out of division that you don't fight in? You have to understand, Jaron Boots Ennis is a champion right now in the welterweight division. And he hasn't even said that he's going to move up right now. And the reason Virgil moved up to 154 It's because he damn near died trying to make 147. So Virgil had no choice. He had to move up while Boots is trying to become undisputed at 147. So I wouldn't say he ducked. Zachy, Eddie Hearn needs to pay more money to Brian. To Brian Norman. That's a fact. I agree with you 100%. Brian Norman is worth it. They could have made that fight. They should have made that fight, and it didn't happen. So I agree. He definitely should get paid for that title fight. JJ's in there. Good morning, everyone. The like button. Let's get the knowledge together. God bless everyone. Appreciate you, my brother. Don't forget to hit that like button. We on the way up, man. It's just the inevitable. Zachy, emo champ, but yes, champ. I mean, we have to consider the fact Crawford vacated all of the titles at welterweight, and anybody who's a champion is going to be an email champion because they didn't beat a title holder. This is going to be the first time that we're going to get a unification bout. Now we got two champions that are going to face each other. So that's great for the division, great for the sport of boxing. And we already know, my peoples, Jaron Boots Ennis, he always goes out to put on a show, to win in beautiful fashion. I'm always looking forward to watching him fight. That's facts. Ratch, Jay, good morning. Oh, good morning, my brother. Good to have you on. You know what it is, man. In the morning time, it's Box Center for breakfast. That's what I'm giving y'all. R30, the only fighter out there really calling out the best fights is Shakur. You know it. Shakur's trying to fight everybody. But there's a few more guys. There's a few more guys that are out there trying to fight everybody as well. It's just that a lot of fighters, you know how it is, man. They trying to protect that O. They trying to talk about, well, if you want me to fight this guy, you got to pay me this much. And what I call duck language. That's why I say Keith Thurman, when Boots' name come up, he uses duck language. Oh, you know, if the money's right, I could fight him. Why you bringing that up? Why not just say, yo, I want to fight this guy. I want to fight you. You're not saying that. And Boots been trying to get that action with Keith Thurman. Zachy, you thought Boots looked good versus Karen? Versus Karen, I thought in the rematch he looked better than in the first fight. But Karen is just one of those opponents that got that style that it's hard to look good against him. You know, styles make fights. Boots has looked good in almost every fight, but there's just that one fight that it didn't, he didn't look spectacular. But Karen, he's number one, he's a lot tougher than what people give him credit for. And number two, he just has that style, man. He just has that style that's tough to look good against him. Zachy, Boots get hit pretty easy. You can get inside on him. I have to disagree with you on that. I think Boots, he likes to get into a fight. And that's where he gets hit. But if you watch him, when he decides to make you miss, he's very hard to hit. And I've said this before, and that's one kink in Boots' armor, that he could get irresponsible with the defense. But when he gets on it, when he start that head movement and go matrix on you, he's hard to be hit. If he decides, I'm going to box you, we're going to box, he's hard to be hit, man. He got a real good defense. It's just that he likes to get into a fight. He's the type of guy that he wants to give fans that action. He wants to give fans what they want. So he'll just get into a fight and trade with you and take some shots in the course of doing that. Chris Fountain, John, my boy. Ooh, John Parham in the building. What's the deal, John? You already know, man. Early in the morning, we doing what we do. And I appreciate, shout out to John Parham, my people. That's one of my boys that's been pushing Box Center, helping me get to that 1,000 and helping me make this thing come up. You already know what it is. John Parham, he 50-50 in my opinion. When he brawls, he get hit. That's facts. That's fact. Boots, when he brawls, he does get hit. But I believe that he does it, he brawls because he likes to fight for the fans. He likes to put on a show. And listen, if we're judging, we can say, oh, he gets hit, right? Which is true. But when you're watching it as a fan, it's fun to watch. When you see two guys hit each other, it's fun to watch. So he does it. It's not like he's trying to get hit, but he'll trade leather to make it a fun fight, an exciting fight to watch. What happens? Look at Shakur. He's the opposite. He doesn't get hit, and people knock him for that because they want to see him get hit. They want to see him be in a rock'em sock'em type of fight. JJ's in there. He gets reckless for the fans. I agree. I agree. Boots, he has a very, very good defense. And when he gets on it, when he start using that movement, using that footwork, using that waist movement, he's real hard to get hit. He could be real hard to be hit if he wanted to. But the fights are just not going to be as fun to watch. He want to get up in there and make it an action-packed type of fight so that, fans support him. And people like to see that. Zaki, it also doesn't help when Bozy is in the corner constantly yelling, get him out of there, man, for instructions. I mean, I've seen Bozy also give real good instructions, as far as using the jab, use your head movement, step around him. But I think sometimes he gets frustrated because he knows, like, we could get this guy out of here, let's get him out of here. And that's what they want to do, they want to knock people out. So once you have somebody that you already got his number, they want to get him out of there. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. NM Coxie. Brochure is AJ versus Parker for WBO. I hope, God willing, AJ 3 world champ. Look, I'm going to tell you like this. AJ is a great fighter. He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. Is he going to be champion again? I don't know, bro. Like, the way his attitude, his demeanor, he's been coming across as somebody who just isn't hungry anymore. And for you to become a world champion, especially at the heavyweight division, where these guys are heavy, heavy hitters, and they can end you with one punch, you got to be hungry for that. If you're not hungry, right now, AJ doesn't look like he's hungry like he used to be. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a champion again. Real talk. John Parham. Whoa, my pick finally changed back. Oh, you've been trying to change it? NM Coxie. He's a great motivation speaker, man. But the only guy who doesn't believe what he says is himself. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, you have to be super, super hungry to get to the top in boxing. Because at that level, you're already fighting the elite level fighters, the champions, the guys who are hungry. And if you get up in there with somebody who's a lot hungrier than you, who's training harder than you, who's pushing harder than you, it's an uphill battle. You're bound to lose. John Parham, in the chat for the 1K subscribe. Only way is up from here. That's facts. That's facts, my peoples. Once you hit that 1,000 and you keep it steady, on the rise, baby. John Parham, I rock with Parker. Me too. Honestly, I think right now Parker has momentum in his favor, and I think if he was to fight AJ, I think he beats him, to be honest. NM Coxie, congrats on 1K, bro. Appreciate it, my guy. I appreciate all of you. You guys helped me make that happen. Now we going on to 2,000. That's the next benchmark. That's going to be easy work. Easy work, my peoples. But again, man, does anybody up in here believe that Eimantas Stanionis stand a shot versus Jaron Boots Ennis? Or is it unanimously everyone agrees that Boots is going to beat him? Because I tell you, I believe Boots is going to win this fight. But I also see this as being his toughest opponent, his toughest challenge. Like, even if he's able to do more things than what he did versus Karen, because Karen is just that European jerky style, constant movements. I think Stanionis is going to be more tailor-made for a firefight where they are going to go toe-to-toe. They are going to trade leather. So it's going to be a tough fight. And like we were just saying earlier, Boots gets hit. He gets touched up. And Stanionis, he got power in both hands. So I got Boots winning it, but I got him winning a very tough, very competitive fight. It could go the distance. If Boots hurt him, we already know he's a great finisher. I think he'll get him out of there. But it's going to be a tough fight, and it's going to be very fun to watch. By the way, for that fight, Your boy Jay Smith will be going live. I'm going to be calling the action. Y'all got to see it. Y'all got to see how I do, my peoples. If you see me calling the action, from that point on, y'all going to check on me when I'm calling these fights. The Zone and all of them need to give me a call. They know what's going on out here. Arch 30. I forget her name, but the girl fighter you covered on the beach fights has potential. Really? Oh, yo, she can fight, bro. She can fight. And you know what's funny? Matter of fact, right now, she's 10-0, and she has like one of those minor titles in Europe. But y'all gonna be seeing her, yo. We're gonna be hearing about her. The girl, she can fight. She's special. Let them hands go. Nasty. But I want to show you who she is so that you guys can also check her out. Her name is Princess Sarah Liegman. Yo, she can bang. She can fight. Let them hands go. Fast. Footwork. Yo, I'm telling you. She's still in that developmental process. Very young. I think she's probably like 19, 20 years old. I don't know how old she is, but she's really young. She can fight. Tune in. Check her out, my peoples. I like to see fighters when they haven't made it yet, when they don't have that big name yet. And I get to see that development process, how after every fight they get a little bit better. And you just see them. I can see her going very far. Dumbfound Lanka. Stanionis been inactive for too long. Only one fight since 2022, and it was May 2024. I mean, we have to take into account that he fought in May of last year and won. But I don't know. I think he's the type of fighter who he is disciplined. He stays in the gym. He's not one of these guys. Because I think inactivity is related to what fighters do while they're inactive. You know, there's fighters that they're inactive for a year, and that whole year they're partying, they're drinking, they're getting high, they're doing a lot of crazy stuff. Guys like that, when they come back, they have trouble in training camp. They even get hurt in training camp by sparring partners and all that, and they end up taking an L. A guy like Stanionis, you know, I follow him on social media. If you check him out, you don't see him drinking, you don't see him smoking, you don't see him getting out of shape, you don't see him partying all the time. He's kind of like, you know, one of these gym rats who, even when he's not fighting, he's still in the gym, he's still focused. So I don't think the inactivity is going to affect him too much. I think he's going to show up and be the best version of himself. I truly believe that. Dumbfound Lanka. I get his Bud inactive versus Charlotte inactive is totally different. I mean, Terrence Bud Crawford, he's a special fighter. And he's also what I've been saying just now about Stanionis. He's the type of guy, we never seen a picture of an out-of-shape Terrence Crawford. We've never seen him drunk or partying or doing any crazy stuff. This guy, he's been in the gym this whole time. He's been sparring elite-level guys. He's been training. He's been working. So Terrence Bud Crawford, that inactivity, you're not going to see any type of rust when he step in the ring with Canelo. I promise you that. JJ Zendejas, those are the hungry fighters you're talking about, the ones that are just coming up. Yeah, but you also got to look at Terrence Bud Crawford, you know. Like, the guy, he has all of these accomplishments, and look, he still has that hunger. He still wants to be greater. He still want to prove the naysayers, like, I am him. Still doing it. John Parham, he probably should took a warm-up fight first. Crawford will be ready and locked in. I mean, Stanionis, I think that he could have took a tune-up, but he wanted to go after Boots. He's confident in himself. Superman, salute. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Listen, Stanionis, he's the type of fighter that he a throwback type of guy. He's been calling out big names like, yo, what's up? Being ready to fight everybody. And a lot of people don't want to fight him. A lot of people said, nah, we good. And Boots is just like him. He ready for that smoke too. Boots is ready to fight everybody. The one fight that I wish they could have made was Jaron Boots Ennis versus Terrence Bud Crawford. They could have made that fight. And, Boots Pops didn't want to do it because it would have been on BLK Prime. And he wanted to be loyal to Showtime, which that was a horrible mistake because Showtime, they already knew they was going to pull the plug on boxing. They made a big mistake. Big mistake, my peoples. Jaron Boots Ennis could have got his shot at Terrence Crawford before Errol Spence. And they specifically said, first they said, we down with it. And when they told him, yo, but it's going to go down on BLK Prime, Bozy Ennis was like, nah, I'm being loyal to Showtime. Steven Espinoza should have told his ass, yo, take that fight, bro. Showtime is going to get out of boxing anyways. After they turned down a fight with Terrence Crawford on BLK Prime, they never fought on ESPN. ESPN stopped with the boxing stuff. So you decided to be loyal to a network that wasn't even going to keep hosting boxing events. That was a bad mistake. JJ said that Crawford is a special fighter that take care of his body and life. That's facts. That's why I always say Crawford has similarities to Floyd Mayweather, to Michael Jordan, to Kobe Bryant, to Wayne Gretzky. These are guys that, they always focus on taking care of their body. LeBron James, they always focus on making sure that their body was in the best of shape. Vladislav Avdiv. Hello, Russia. Ooh, boom, Russia's in the building. What's good, my brother? Zaki, Boots wasn't ready. It's smart. I mean, it was a smart decision. But you got to remember, a lot of people were saying that Boots was going to beat Crawford and that he was going to beat his ass and all this stuff. And they didn't pull the trigger. They could have made that fight happen. But they were smart because they didn't make it seem like they was ducking. If you remember, it was never a narrative about Boots ducking him. In fact, people were saying Crawford was ducking Boots. Why? Because they were smart. The way that they did it, it was like, oh, look, we down with the fight, but we're not trying to do it on BLK Prime. And I felt like Steven Espinoza shitted on him because Steven Espinoza knew Showtime was going out of boxing. So he should have told him, yo, don't be loyal to Showtime, my guy. You're never going to fight on Showtime again. We pulling the plug. But that's the way things play out sometimes. R30, business is business. Can't catch feeling for a network. Big mistake by Ennis Camp. Facts. That was a big mistake. You trying to be loyal, and you know that, a network is not going to be loyal to you. They're going to be about making their money, about their business. And they knew that they was already good. Listen, I'm going to tell you like this. And this is funny. I told a lot of people Showtime was going to pull the plug on boxing. You can see it in this very channel if you go back. Say, Showtime is not going to stay in boxing. And mad people, especially the PBC fan base, you're a hater. Showtime is not going anywhere. People calling me a hater. I saw it coming. And when they knew they was going to pull the plug on boxing, they kept it quiet. And allowed people to stay with Showtime, knowing damn well y'all wasn't going to get another fight with Showtime. You should have let them people go. Like, my people, listen, if you get an opportunity from another network, go fight. Because you're not going to fight here no more. We done. If they would have did that, there's a lot of fighters that could have got some opportunities. Zaki, Bud got skills, no doubt. But I can argue he never beat a no-brainer Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't think that's a good argument. And the reason I say that is because you got to take into account you can only beat who's willing to get in front of you. It's as simple as that. Like, I'm pretty sure you can make a good argument. But who can you fight when nobody want to fight you? You got to remember when he was at the welterweight division, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. When he was a champion, Sean Porter faced him at the end when he was no longer champion. But when they were champions, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, none of them guys wanted to fight him. Errol Spence fought him when there was no other choice. That was the only option available for you to become undisputed. There was no choice. So It's hard for you to fight the best when the best don't want to fight you. And I said it before, Shakur's dealing with the same situation Crawford was dealing with. Now that Crawford became undisputed, moved up, became champion again, now his popularity, his fame, now he can get big fights. Now people want to fight him because they know that they're going to make a bag. Look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman ducked Crawford the whole time he was at welterweight. Meanwhile, once he beat Errol Spence, became undisputed, became a champion at 154, now Keith Thurman is like, yeah, I'll fight Crawford. Crawford should fight me. That's a big fight. Even I said before, Crawford shouldn't even give his ass an opportunity. You dissed him when you had a title. Oh, he ain't nobody. You dissed Terrence Crawford. So if I was Crawford, I'd be like, Keith, go kick rocks, my boy. Go fight contenders. You're not worth it. Rick Porco, good morning. Why do people call HBO boxing racist? I mean, I think that it was more about this guy. What's his name? The guy that Crawford told, the guy that Mayweather told him, you don't know shit about boxing. I can't remember his name. The old guy. Letterman? No. I can't remember his name, but, people started feeling like he was racist because the way that he sometimes went back and forth with fighters, but he wasn't. HBO boxing wasn't racist. The thing about HBO boxing is that most of the people there just happen to be white. But they wasn't racist. I didn't really get that from them. I thought they had HBO boxing. Oh, Larry Merchant. There you have it. Larry Merchant, some people felt like he was a racist because of the way that he went back and forth with some fighters. I just felt like he was a trash talker, a guy that really was stiff, spoke his mind. But I didn't get that. I didn't get that from him at all, to be honest. NM Coxie, HBO need to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. That was an epic rant. And you know what's funny about that? If you watch that interaction, it was Floyd that was actually wilding out. Because the only thing Larry Merchant was saying was, you was winning this fight. Was it really necessary to punch him in the break? He didn't have to. He was winning. So Larry Merchant was actually giving him credit. But Floyd just didn't want to hear about him sucker punching Ortiz. He didn't want to hear it. He was on some, protect yourself at all time. And boxing fans were split when it comes to that. Because a lot of boxing fans felt like, why you got to sucker punch a guy? Touch hands and boom, punch him. Like, why you got to do that? You're winning the fight. You're better than him. Why you got to do that? But we also got to remember Ortiz headbutted him. You see? Ortiz headbutted him. So you fighting dirty, guess what? Protect yourself at all times. You got knocked out. That's how the cookie crumbles. Zaki, Hopkins got into it with him as well. Yeah, I remember that. But there you have it. You see, look at the fighters that got into it with him. Fighters who had that attitude, who gonna shit talk you too. So it really wasn't about anything else other than people who shit talk. An announcer who's with it too, who's down to shit talk. And guess what? If we think about it, those interactions made for great TV. We love each and every time he went at it with those guys. NM Coxie, I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass. That was classic. That was classic. Larry Merchant didn't take no shit. And it's mad funny because Ellerby was right there with Floyd when Floyd said, you don't know shit about boxing. And when Larry Merchant was like, what? Larry Ellerby was like, you heard him. Chris Fonte, also Bob Arum did his fighters bad. That's messed up for HBO as well. Love more Hinduism. Been waiting all morning for this chat. Ooh, what's the deal, my G? You already know, man. We do it like nobody else. Zaki, referee Cortez say years after that, getting caught with back turn, allowing Floyd to sucker punch him was the second worst mistake ever in the ring. I mean, come on, you just finished headbutting a guy. And after you headbutt him, you gonna put your hands down and play like everything is cool? You had it coming, buddy. You had it coming. You don't headbutt somebody, which is a very dirty tactic, and then expect them to play nice with you. And then the headbutt was obviously intentional. It was like, He headbutted Floyd on purpose. So after that, all bets are off. We not friends. We're not gonna be cool. And if I could knock you out while you put your hands down, I will. That's what Floyd did. 5'4", 84-90. Telling Merchant he don't know boxing is crazy though. I mean, again, when people are arguing, they say stuff like that. I've had people go ahead tell me I don't know shit about boxing just because we disagree. I think, when you say you don't know shit about boxing to somebody, sometimes you don't really mean it. You're just saying it because you mad. You mad, so you're going to give it to him like that. Dumbfound Lanka. When you look at it, Porter has a really good resume. Win or lose, he fought the best. That's a fact. Sean Porter is one of these fighters who fought the best, who was willing to step in there with everybody and anybody. And you know what? A lot of times, fighters like that are going to take losses along the way. It's just that everybody's not doing what he did, fighting all of the best. That's why. Love more Hinduism. Ortiz was putting paws on him. That's facts. That's facts. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to win that fight on points. There was no way he was going to beat Floyd. JJ Zendejas, protect yourself at all times. Especially after a headbutt. That's a fact, bro. You headbutt somebody, and then you try to play cool. Boom! You was asking for it, bro. 5'4", 84-90. You trying to hurt feelings. Nah, man. I'm just being honest. I'm just keeping it a buck. Chris Fontaine. Sean Porter was a dog. That's facts. That's facts. There is no debating that. Sean Porter was a dog. Step in there with everybody and anybody. And he was always ready for a fight. If you watch Sean Porter, you know that you was going to get a good fight every time out. Look how he fought Errol Spence. Errol Spence, by the way, edged out a split decision versus Sean Porter. And if he wouldn't have dropped him at the end, he may have lost that fight. Think about that. That's how good Sean Porter was. He was this close to beating Errol Spence. Zachy, I've debated Sean Porter should be in the Hall of Fame over Adrian Broner. I believe that. You know what happens with Adrian Broner is that they were very, very smart with the way they handled his career before he went downhill. Cito, good morning, everyone. God bless, Jay. Salute. What's the deal, my brother? And I'm going to tell you why they were smart with Adrian Broner. If you look at Adrian Broner, he's I think a 3-division champion, right? Yo, most of Adrian Broner's titles were vacant titles. He won a lot of vacant titles, meaning he became a 3-division champion, and I think he beat like one reigning champion who actually he took a belt from. Then most of them was vacant titles that he was matched up with decent opponents, and he beat them. So me personally, when I look at Adrian Broner's resume, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Real talk. And I'm not hating on him or nothing. I love watching AB. But I don't think he's a Hall of Famer based on what I see in his resume. But he's a multi-division champion. They made that happen. It's kind of like, if you look at Tank Davis. Right now, Tank Davis is a 3-division champion. 130, 135, 140. Yet, who he beat? When we get into that back and forth, even with Tank Davis fans, who he beat, eventually they end up with, he beat, what's the Puerto Rican guy that he beat at 130? That became a stepping stone for everybody else. Everybody else beat him up too. Like, really? That's who he beat? Oh, Ryan Garcia. He beat Ryan Garcia too. Really? So there's a lot of fighters who they're able to build a resume with multi-division champion. And when you look at it, he didn't even beat no champions. Who he beat? Pancho Villa. Facts, fam. Zachy. Tank, 140 belt. Shouldn't count. Josh Taylor was undisputed. That's real talk. That's real talk. That's a Mickey Mouse belt. Pedraza. That's facts. Cito. 5'4", 84-90. Pedraza. And it's like, yo, Pedraza became a stepping stone for a bunch of dudes that also beat him up. Never a pound-for-pound guy. Never a guy who was one of the best in the division. Come on now. And Pedraza's a good fighter. No disrespect to him. But he's never been amongst the elite or one of the best. I think we can all agree with that. Yeah, Tank Davis is a 3-division champion. And the funny thing is that the secondary title that he had at 140, that shit don't even exist anymore. It literally don't exist. You don't see nobody holding it in no division. It's like they gave you a phantom title. They give you a phantom title that doesn't even exist anymore. 5'4", 84, 90. 126 Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz moved to 130, won a vacant title because he never beat a champion at 130, and then afterwards, Tank demolished him. Another guy that moved up and got beat up. Pancho Villa. Salute, my brother. AP, Tank demolished him. JJ Zendejas, Gamboa. Look at that, Gamboa. Gamboa, who never won a title. Gamboa, who was like 6 years away from fighting Crawford and losing that fight in a competitive fight. Now that version of Gamboa that was nearly 40 years old, that's who Tank beat. Zaki, Pedraza, solid guy, but never elite. Exactly. Good. You know what I'm saying? Pedraza, listen, no disrespect. He's a guy that's a good fighter who can fight. And the regular guys, Pedraza gonna beat them, all of them. If you're an average fighter, Pedraza gonna beat your ass. But the elite, they all whooped them, all of them. Dumbfound Lanka. Cat was out of the bag after he fought Paulie. It was apparent Broner wasn't a generational talent. But here's the deal. Here's the deal that we have to take into consideration, my brother. By the time Adrian Broner fought Paulie, his personal life was already going downhill and starting to catch up to him. He won that fight. But his personal... Matter of fact, you don't remember, man, that he stole Paulie's girlfriend the night before the fight? Stole his chick, was smashing with her and everything, partying with her. Like, that was just disrespectful. But his personal life was already out of order. Adrian Broner could have been a special fighter, bro. He could have been a generational talent. But he didn't have the discipline to keep it going. He didn't have it. As soon as he started getting those big checks and seeing money, he started messing up. And that's how it always happens. You know, guys start messing up in their personal life and they can still win in the beginning, but eventually their personal life is just out of order and now it's time to lose. It catches up to you. 5'4", 84, 90. I was a Tank fan, but not anymore. I feel he got his fame out of Mayweather backbone. I mean, Floyd was a big part of that, but I think we got to give Tank credit because even though he hasn't faced the best, but his performances have been spectacular. People love watching him knock people out. Knockout power, you know, can get you out of there with one punch. That's also a big part of the reason why people love watching him. And he has such a fan base. Chris Fontaine, once he started doing them dumbass dance moves, it was over. Facts. Adrian Broner, like, bro, what is you doing? What are you doing? Love more Hinduism. He beat Pacquiao. Everybody know I beat that boy. I beat him. Adrian was wilding out, bro. He was wilding out. Real talk. Pancho Villa, Tank Davis is the email champion. I mean, we could say that. We could say that. He haven't beat a champion in the 135 division. He hasn't beat the big dogs. JJ's in their house. I love this boxing chat room. Let's keep it going. Best boxing channel. Appreciate you, my brother. Those who haven't come through, they're going to learn. I promise you. 5'4", 84, 90. If he don't knock out, he is regular. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's regular, my G. And this is why I say that. If we look at Tank Davis's footwork, if we look at Tank Davis's head movement, the way he slip punches, if we look at the fact that he's a very, very good counter punch, I would say Tank Davis is a special fighter who hasn't ever been in the ring with another special fighter. See, that's my knock on him. You know what I'm saying? He's a great fighter, but he's not getting in there with the best. That's the problem. Love more Hinduism. Carmel Moten is what Tank should be. Listen, Carmel Moten, I think that's where he's gonna be different than Tank, because even early on he's looking like he's gonna be a throwback fighter who's gonna be trying to fight everybody. who's gonna just get in the ring and fight everybody and anybody. Plus, he rocking with Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather is gonna want him to surpass Tank. Simply because Tank been talking shit about Floyd, left the money team and all that stuff, and supposedly, I don't know if Tank was smashing Floyd's daughter, but that's what started the whole thing with them. You know, supposedly Floyd's daughter was hitting Tank up on DM or wherever it was, social media. Floyd didn't like that, and ever since then they had that friction. Pancho Villa Box Center is the best in the business. Appreciate you, my brother. They're gonna learn. They're gonna find out what we doing out here. John Parham, facts. Y'all know it, my peoples. It's just a matter of time before they figure it out that this is where it's at right here. This is gonna be the #1 live in boxing. Period. Point blank. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. It's the inevitable. But I digress. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis. Like I said before, my peoples, this is a very competitive fight, man. This is something that I'm really, really looking forward to it. Also because I'm gonna be calling that fight. And I can't wait for y'all to see how I do it. When you see me calling it, y'all not ready for this. Y'all not ready for this. Wait and see. Dunfaulanka, what are your thoughts on Inoue and Caballero? I feel like both fighters for greatness. I mean, listen. Now, yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not ready to put Caballero up there yet. Naoya Inoue, and I've said this before. To me, he's like Pac-Man, but better. Naoya Inoue is gonna be better than Manny Pacquiao, and you know why I say that? Because Naoya Inoue is fast, does a lot of things great, footwork, head movement, waist movement, ring generalship. Naoya Inoue has it all. He has that knockout power. But I say he's going to be better than Pacquiao because he's sharper. If you look at both of them, the way Naoya Inoue throws his punches, he's super sharp. Sharp. He's one of the sharpest fighters in the game today. The only disadvantage that Naoya Inoue has is that he's very short. I think he's 5'3", if I'm not mistaken. Which means that he's not going to be able to go up as far as Manny Pacquiao did. And listen, that's why a lot of people don't understand Pacquiao's greatness. He went all the way to welterweight. The 154-pound title, we can debate that because it was at a catchweight. But for welterweight, Manny Pacquiao was a small fighter, my peoples. He accomplished at the welterweight division, and what was he, 5'5" or some shit like that? Yo, for you to be 5'5" and beating champions at welterweight, that is insane, bro. That's insane. So Manny Pacquiao, his greatness showed in the fact that at such a short stature, he was still able to beat great fighters at that division. Now, yeah, Inoue, because he's like 5'3", he doesn't have that much room to go up in divisions. I don't think he'll go past. And it's crazy. We see people saying, fight Tank Davis, fight Tank Davis. Like, God damn, bro. Why you want him to fight Tank Davis? Why you want him to move up multiple divisions up to fight Tank Davis? Why not ask Tank Davis to move up 2 divisions and fight Boots then? Think about this. Tank Davis is closer to Boots' weight than he's closer to Naoya Inoue. So Naoya Inoue, a great fighter. I don't know if he'll ever fight past the 130 division because of how short he is. It'll be a tough ask. William P. Well, R30. Pacquiao had that speed also. Facts, yo. Pacquiao was super fast. Cito. If Stanionis don't respect Boots' power, it's Stanionis' fight. We have to see. It's a very competitive fight. I'm not, like I said, man, an upset happens because we are expecting something else to go down. Stanionis has the tools and resources to pull off the upset. That's my take. William P. Manny Pacquiao is that dude. He's the reason I started boxing in the amateurs. Pac-Man was inspirational type of fighter. Pancho Villa, fam, how do you feel about the steroid allegations on Manny? The steroids allegations on Manny hold no water. No water. Those allegations came from people that don't like him, from people that hate on him. But there's no weight behind those allegations. Oh, he's knocking people out. He's knocking people out. Look how easy I discredit those allegations. In lower divisions, he was knocking people out. And what happened when he got to welterweight? The knockouts stopped. Why? Because now he's fighting bigger guys, stronger guys, and he just couldn't stop them anymore. You look at Oscar De La Hoya, knocked out a bunch of people at 147. What happened when he moved up to 154 and above? The knockouts stopped. So guys who move up multiple divisions, the knockouts stop when they move up because now they're fighting bigger guys who can handle their punching power. It's just that simple. So Pac-Man, there is absolutely nothing to suggest that he ever did steroids. Only the assumption like, oh, he was knocking people out. He was knocking people out. And then he stopped. Okay. He stopped knocking people out when he moved up to welterweight fighting big-ass dudes. That's supposed to happen. Yo, every fighter who fought 4 divisions, 5 divisions, by the time they got to those higher divisions, they stopped knocking people out. There's historical data to back me up. Look at it. Go see everybody who moved up a bunch of divisions and see what happened. If anything, they got knocked out when they moved up. Look at Trinidad, knocking everybody out at 147. What happened when he fought Bernard Hopkins? He got stopped. He got stopped. What happened with De La Hoya when he fought Bernard Hopkins? He got stopped. Bernard Hopkins ate their punches like that was nothing. Like that was fried chicken and french fries. Christopher Leden, what's up, bro? What's the deal, my G? Bam, appreciate you hopping on. William P, I honestly think Floyd lost to Pac-Man. I mean, that fight, it was, I would say it wasn't as good as we expected. Honestly, I saw Floyd winning it simply because Pac-Man was throwing a lot of punches, but he was also missing a lot. JJ Zendejas, Jay Smith, you better be ready to answer your phone when that big boys of boxing call you to announce fights. I'll be ready. They gonna holler at me. They gonna have to come through me. Watch. They gonna realize, damn, the people we got over here calling these fights, man, they corny as hell. They not connecting. Especially they not connecting with the American audience with that corny ass announcing that they be doing. And they be biased as hell too. They gonna have to holler at me. It's a matter of time. Pancho Villa, got you, fam. The hate is real. Yeah, yo. Pacquiao. What? But if we look at it, all the great fighters have been hated a lot. Floyd, Pacquiao, De La Hoya, right now Canelo, and Mayweather. If you're amongst the greats, you're going to be hated. It's always been the case. William P. I remember when I was young, they say he was drinking his own piss. Juan Manuel, when he fought Manny, that was the craziest shit in boxing. I'm telling you, all the crazy-ass conspiracy theories. And look, watch this. I had arguments where, because like y'all know, man, if you see me talking about Floyd, you know that I give Floyd his credit and I consider him one of the greatest of all time. I don't never just side with one guy, though. If we're arguing about talking points, I'll bring up everything that needs to be brought up. Because let me give you an example. When Manny Pacquiao, people say that he did steroids because he was knocking people out. That's it. Just because he was knocking people out, he did steroids. But Floyd Mayweather got caught using an illegal IV. And he said it was for hydration. Do you know why IVs are illegal in boxing? IVs are illegal in boxing because they can be used to mask steroids. That's why they're illegal. Till this day, IVs are illegal in boxing because they can be used to mask steroids. Floyd got caught red-handed the day before he was to fight Manny Pacquiao using an illegal IV. And nobody says that he did steroids. But he used an illegal IV. And y'all know what's funny about that? What's even funny about that? Love More Hinduism. Whoa, we just learned something new. Let me put you on to something that a lot of people don't know. because Floyd Mayweather is such a big star that they swept it under the rug. Watch, I bet you didn't know this, Love More Hinduism. Watch this, I bet you didn't know this. When Floyd Mayweather got caught with the IV, they were supposed to report that to Manny Pacquiao and his team. They kept it quiet. They didn't report it, right? And what they did is that they reported it to Manny's team after the fight had already happened. After the fight had happened. But this is the worst part about all that, which was also swept under the rug. Yo, like 2 weeks after the fight happened, they get that corrupt ass boxing association, they gave Floyd an exemption for the IV like 2 weeks after the fight already happened. So you're like, oh, they gave. So Floyd fans was telling me, nah, he used the IV, but they gave him an exemption. No. They didn't give him an exception. He used it on the low. He got caught using it. They kept it on the low. They didn't tell Manny anything. After the fight, they told him. And after that, 2 weeks later, they gave Floyd an exemption. Imagine that. That's like you break a rule. They don't punish you for breaking the rule. And weeks down the line, they say, nah, we giving you an exception to do that. So now you're not breaking the rule because we giving you an exception. That shit don't even make no sense. How you give somebody an exception after they already broke the rules? So that was fishy all around. That was fishy all around right there. Yeah, nobody's saying that Floyd was using IV on the low without reporting it to anybody illegally. Nobody's saying that he was flushing out them steroids. You see? So if we go back and forth about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, I will have more shit on Floyd as to why he's suspect than you have on Manny. Because all you got on Manny is, he was knocking people out. And he wasn't knocking them out anymore when he moved up to 147. Okay. Nice little conspiracy theory you got going on there. Floyd got caught using an IV for a fact. They kept it on the low for a fact. And by the way, another thing y'all didn't know, for that IV that he used right before fighting Pac-Man, he actually had to pay him. When they disclosed to Manny Pacquiao's team that he was on IV and they never told him, so he fought a guy that used an IV without knowing, guess what? They had to pay Manny a bunch of money so that he don't sue. To keep this on the low, because if Manny Pacquiao sues for that IV, that becomes a huge story. How does Floyd Mayweather get caught using an IV and that wasn't even in the news? Nobody was even talking about that. They did everything they had to do to keep that under the rug. That's how they move. So that's boxing for you. You can't, when you assume stuff, you got to understand, if you're assuming stuff for this guy, we can also assume stuff for this guy. And I'm the first one to tell you, listen, there is no evidence that Manny Pacquiao ever did steroids, and there is no evidence that Floyd Mayweather ever did steroids. Right now, we have to say that they both clean. But if you tell me this guy's dirty, then I could easily tell you, oh, word, this guy's dirty too then. Look what he did. But when you bias, you only want to focus on one guy, and look the other way when it's this other guy. That Pac-Man that night was not the Pac-Man I expected. I mean, we didn't get the Manny Pacquiao we expected. But I think that he was also having a hard time getting to Floyd. Floyd was, using that footwork, using that movement. He made him miss a lot during that fight. Love More Hinduism. That's why I got Ali as the GOAT. Muhammad Ali is one of my GOATs. In fact, I've been back and forth between him and Floyd as far as who's the greatest of all time. So family, OG, what's good, man? How you feeling, brother? What's the deal, my G? We feeling good. We doing what we do. Yesterday, we reached 1,000 subscribers. Box Center family is growing. and we just headed to number one. That's just the way that it is. R30, Floyd was a cash cow for boxing, so things got covered up easy. Yeah, they covered it up real nice. That never became a trending topic or a viral topic. That was handled on the low, and nobody really talked about it. Blue Moon Tiger King, what do you think about Eddie Hearn having a £1,000,000 bet with Chris Eubank Jr. about the Conor Benn fight? I mean, I don't know that that's a good bet for Chris Eubank Jr. I said it before, Eddie Hearn got that type of money. He can afford to pay $1,000,000. I don't know if Chris Eubank can afford to lose $1,000,000. So, and to be honest, I didn't see that they made it legit a bet. Eddie Hearn had actually tried to make that bet with somebody else, and Chris Eubank jumped on the scene, and I don't know, like, I formally accept your bet, so like he wants in on it, but I don't know that they're actually making it. Pancho Villa, fam, there's a list of boxers who've been caught using steroids. Canelo and Pernell Whitaker and many more were accused. Chavez didn't make the list. Julio Cesar Chavez, is one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's an all-time great, and he was never involved in any type of controversy with regards to steroids. So, you got to give him props for that. Blue Moon Tiger King, who do you think will win the fight, Conor Benn or Chris Eubank? Look, man, I like Conor Benn's energy, and I've been saying it. Chris Eubank, he's been joking around a lot, playing games. The stuff that he did with the egg, I didn't like that anyways. But I don't know. I feel like, I know Conor Benn is the smaller fighter, but I feel like he's gonna pull it off in devastating fashion. I've been feeling that way. Aiden Young, go to bed. De La Hoya, you're looking terrible. Go to bed. Go to bed. De La Hoya? I mean, De La Hoya, what are you talking about, bro? De La Hoya is not fighting. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. De La Hoya is already a promoter. John Parham, low key, I'm taking Ben. Yo, I'm telling you, man, Conor Benn is a smaller fighter, but I just feel like that aggressiveness that he's been displaying, obviously he's mad as hell about the egg. I don't know, man. I think Conor Benn is going to pull it off in devastating fashion. Brian Romero, Stanionis is highly overrated. He's a come-forward fighter who went life and death with a washed-up Thomas Delorme. Yo, Thomas Delorme is not a bum, though. I know he's past his prime, but he's not a bum. The guy can fight. It's kind of like Erislandis Lara. 40 years old, but he's going to give problems to anybody. We're going to see. We're really going to see what Stanionis is about versus Boots. We're going to find out. But I honestly believe that he's going to give Boots his toughest fight. We shall see. JJ Zendejas, have to go to work. Take care, everyone. Be good as you can, my peoples. Appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy your day at work. Troy back. Hope you and your family are great. Same to you, my brother. Cito, dale, JJ. Tira pa'lante, hay que trabajar. Gotta make this money, my peoples. Blue Moon Tiger King. Ben will win in 4 rounds. In about 4 rounds. I don't know how fast it's gonna happen. He's been saying he's gonna spark him out of there, and I believe him. Conor Benn he got me convinced. Real talk. John Parham, Blue, it won't be that early. Probably around 9 or 10. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that early either. Chris Eubank, he can take a shot. He can box. He can move. So I think it's gonna be more of a situation where Conor Benn is gonna have to slowly break him down and eventually hurt him. Now, once he hurt him, he'll get him out of there. Jay Petty, 50-50 fight. 50-50 fight, bum bash, for real. Hard to call it. Both not really skillful. I mean, I don't know why you feel that they're not really skillful. I think that they are. Maybe you don't like their style of boxing, but I think that they're skillful fighters. And I think that they both have a possibility to become champions, given, the right circumstances. Brian Romero, you're going to remember what I said. I am telling you, Stanionis is highly overrated. He just come forward like Pitbull Cruz, doesn't do anything special. Yeah, but look, Pitbull Cruz became a world champion at the 140 division. When you become a world champion, how overrated are you really? He also went 12 rounds with Tank Davis. Not a lot of people look at Tank Davis's record. Almost everybody got knocked out. If you go 12 rounds with Tank Davis, that says a lot. Blue Moon Tiger King. John Parham meant to say 4 round or 9 round, between the fourth and the ninth. I, I think that he's gonna break him down, man, and catch him with a big shot. I feel like Chris Eubank Jr. is gonna try to box him, and is gonna do that successfully for the first few rounds, and then it's gonna go downhill. Brian Romero, easy fight for Boots. I don't think so. I don't think Stanionis is gonna be an easy fight. We're gonna find out. I don't think that Stanionis is gonna be an easy fight. Not for Boots, for anybody. He's not an easy fight for anybody. And I believe you're gonna find out. Because you gotta understand, my brother, Boots also gets hit a lot. When he get on his defensive game, yeah, he can make you miss. But Boots likes to get into a fight. And he gets hit a lot. If you look at all of his last 3-4 fights, he ate a lot of shots. So it's not like Boots is going out there to box you and make you miss and move around. He gonna stand in there and trade with you. And one thing Stanionis got is power in both hands. I think you underestimated him, my brother. Jay Petty, Stanionis got to get hurt bad against Boots. Tailor-made. We shall see. We shall see, my peoples. I believe that Stanionis is going to give Boots his toughest test. Even if Boots is able to stop him. Because he wasn't able to stop Karen, right? But Karen, his punches didn't affect Boots in no way, shape, or form. Even when he was catching Boots, Boots was still walking him down. I don't think with Stanionis is going to be that easy. I think with Stanionis, we're going to see a more defensive, responsible Boots that's not just walking in there. That's going to be more cautious. And I think that's going to say a lot about Stanionis' power. Blue Moon Tiger King, what do you think to Eubank that not going to the fight? I mean, they've been saying that, Conor Ben has been saying that throughout these pressers, that Chris Eubank's father doesn't even like him. I would have, if I'm a fighter and my father was a fighter, I would like to see him there backing me. That would feel good. So I know that deep down inside Chris Eubank is a little bit hurt about that. But we don't know what type of relationship they got. If they got a strained relationship where they not talking to each other. And I seen a comment that Chris Eubank Sr. made. He was not happy about the egg. He said, he's messing with our last name when he does stupid things like that. Not in those words, but he said something along those lines, like, you got to protect the last name. We got a legacy over here. You going out there hitting people with eggs. Nah. So his pops is not with that crazy behavior. And if y'all watch old videos of Chris Eubank Sr., he was very respectful. Even respectful towards his opponents. Always. Very professional. When is the band fight? I don't have the exact date, but we're still like a month or two away from that fight. Jay Petty, Boots doesn't get hit a lot compared to other fighters. Much easier fight than Karen's style. Ref might stop it. We're going to see. We shall see. I expect it to be a very tough fight. Boots' toughest fight to date. I'm not saying it's going to go the distance like it did with Karen. But I'm saying Boots is going to eat some big shots in this fight. He's going to be involved in a firefight, in a slugfest. And he's going to get his too. Blue Moon Tiger King, what do you think to lady boxer Clarissa Shields and the boxer Katie Taylor say true this? I mean, Clarissa Shields is the GOAT. Clarissa Shields, listen, she's that type of fighter who she has a very strong attitude, a very strong personality, and there's people who just don't like that. They don't like her. She's kind of like a female Floyd Mayweather. She's real cocky about it. She'll let you know I'm the greatest, and people don't like that. But at the end of the day, how many times she's already a 2-division undisputed champion. Now she's a heavyweight champion. She's beat everybody. She's the greatest of all time. Katie Taylor, great fighter. Great fighter. We saw Katie Taylor fighting Amanda Serrano. They went to war. Both of them, great fighters. If I'm ranking Clarissa Shields and Katie Taylor, I'm putting Clarissa Shields ahead of her. 26 April, Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn. There you have it. Appreciate you, my peoples. Facts. Chris Eubank and Conor Benn. Fellas. That's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight. I can't wait for it. Like I told you, I'm going to be calling it. And y'all going to see how I call the fights, man. They're going to have to get the hell out of my way and put me on when they see it. Matter of fact, look. I want to show you something real quick, my peoples. Because there's fights that I've already called. I already been on it. So I want to show you a little bit so y'all can see my style of calling a fight. Y'all can see how I get it done. Watch this. Let me show you. I want y'all to see how I do it. I go in on them. You know, calling them fights. When people check me out, they're like, yo, you need to be over there calling the fights, man. These people boring that we watching on TV. And you know what it is? A lot of people who call fights, you can see their bias. Like, they'll say a lot when this guy hits, and then they don't say much when this guy hits. You could just see the bias through the screen. I don't do that, bro. I call it. Whoever's hitting, I'm calling it. I'm not just trying to be biased and be on the side of this fighter or that fighter. I'm calling it how it's happening. I wanna give you guys a little taste of how I be calling the fights, so y'all see how I get down. Damn, I got so many videos up in here, man. Golly, a lot. Yo, I hope. Look, if you go to the shorts in this channel, I got a lot of videos, my peoples. A lot of videos that are there. I hope that you guys have had the opportunity to check those out. Because my content, yo, is like no other. Nobody is doing stuff. Oh, matter of fact, look, I got this segment that I call the goofiest of the oofiest. Check this out, my peoples. Check this out.
My peoples, welcome to another episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest. Let's make this quick. This week's winner is Teofimo Lopez. Yup. The takeover. The goofiest of the oofiest takeover right now. You're going to describe two black men, Tank Davis and Bud Crawford, as monkeys? Really? There's already been speculation about you and your pals being racists. And you're going to call black men monkeys? For that reason, Teofimo, you are the
goofiest of the oofiest. So I have a segment that is called the goofiest of the oofiest, where I call people out when they do goofy ass shit. Check that out. But let me show you, my peoples, when I'm calling these fights. How I call these fights. Blue Moon Tiger King, you're going to live on channel. On Twitter. Of course I'm gonna be live, bro. Listen, for all the big fights, I'm going live. And I'm calling them. You're gonna see that real color commentary. I can't wait for you guys to tune in and see how I'll be calling these fights. Okay, look at this, my peoples. Check this out, my peoples. Check this out. This was me calling a fight live. Watch this. With the right hook to the body. My peoples, I'll call the fight different. I was calling that fight Benavidez versus Morrell, and I was like 3 days or 4 days removed from my surgery. I almost ripped my stitches out from yelling so much. But y'all gotta see it, man. I'm definitely gonna be live for all of these big fights that are coming up, and I call it how I see it. Call it how I see it, my peoples. But listen, I'm about to end this live. Before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out To all my peoples that's out here showing me love, R30, Jay Parham, Troy Bag, Jay Patty, Blue Moon Tiger King, all of you, man, y'all already know. Y'all helping Box Center become the #1 boxing channel, the #1 live. And we gonna make that happen. We unstoppable, my peoples. Pancho Villa, salute to you too as well, my brother. Cito, Troy Bag, JJ Zendejas. Yo, everybody, all of you guys are making it happen. All of you guys are making this channel go up. It's the inevitable. We're gonna be the best. So, again, my peoples, stay tuned. We're gonna be live for all of those big fights. I'm gonna be calling it the way boxing needs to be called. Not like a bunch of goofy ass people out there boring as hell. Y'all already know, my peoples, what it is. Your boy Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. See y'all tonight, 7 p.m. sharp, Eastern time. Y'all already know, my peoples. Peace. Bam. We out of here. Let's go eat some. Go to work. Whatever we got to do. Let's get it done.